we talked about your injuries on the offensive side of the ball, but Cincinnati's had some as well. What does that offense look like right now, and what do you have to guard against defensively?
Well, I think like anything, I mean, you always go into each and every game to stop the run. You know, really like both backs. You know, obviously Mixon's hurt, but I think both these guys are productive. You know, can ability inside run and bounce the football, and then I think, you know, stating the obvious too with the receiver play. So that, you know, their ability to play 50-50 is clearly apparent. But like anything, you always have to start with the run game.
I know Donovan Wilson hadn't been able to do much for you in practice this week. Would you anticipate he'll be able to do a little bit more today, or is he still going to be off to the side?
I think he'll be off to the side today unless something has changed since this morning. So, but I don't anticipate him doing a whole lot. But I have not talked to those guys since 6 o'clock. So.
Mike, how have you gone about structuring the practice schedule this week, given the short week?
Well, I mean, everything's weighted. You just like any football game that you play, especially when you play an odd game. I mean, Tuesday's different. No one has experience coming off of Tuesday night into Sunday, so it's a little bit like going into the Thanksgiving game. You know, if you're looking at the days, you have one extra day, but you're coming off of a night game where you get back at I think we got back at 3:30. So I would say it's similar to the preparation going into the Thanksgiving game.
And I know you mentioned earlier in the week that you don't like to address some of these things publicly, but several of your players spoke yesterday about you talking to the team about effort and finish. So what can you tell us about your message to them, and how disappointing is it to have these conversations in December?
Well, I mean, there's messaging almost each and every day. So, I mean, that's what team meetings are for. And at the end of the day, there's a component about performance that, I mean, you're always trying to improve as a football team, and the focus and the message was about finish, and finish goes beyond the fourth quarter. It's every play. It ties both to the preparation and the performance. We're not where we need to be. I mean, clearly our record reflects it. So we can improve on a number of things, and it's just not one area, one person. Everybody's 3-9 right now, so we all need to do a better job.
Mike, on these short weeks, how difficult is it for a coach to get a read on his team, because there is such limited practice in what you're doing on field?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, really, the veteran players, you don't concern yourself with a whole lot, because they'll have at some level, some point in their past experience, that they have something they can draw from and can really focus on the mental and the emotional. Where the younger players, they need the physical reps more than obviously the veteran players. So my focus is more on the younger players and potentially guys that are early in their experience. Because we have a number of guys that were up last week for the first time. So. And that's really what today's for. Today is our heavy day for this short week. We were in a walkthrough mode yesterday, but today's important, and really the focus is not only on the game plan, but hopefully we can get these young guys some good physical reps.
And considering Alden's long layoff that he had coming into the season, he's got 1 sack in his last 8 games. Has he kind of hit a wall here, and he's been dealing with some stuff physically as well? Where do you think he is right now?
I think his is more just what he's going through physically. I mean, I think the answer's in your question. I mean, he hasn't played in a long time. I mean, this is NFL seasons is long. I'm not having the off season. The lead up to this is probably his challenge. As much for him as anybody. So, but he's battling through it. He's got a good attitude and a good outlook on it. So, hopefully he can take a step this week.
Mike, Zeke was pretty adamant yesterday about playing through this calf thing, regardless of the circumstances with standings, et cetera. Is there any consideration from the staff's point of view of shutting him down with the odds getting a little steeper to win the division?
No, I think like anything, you trust the medical staff and especially someone with Zeke's experience and he has been here his whole career. We're not going to expose anybody to a situation that could affect the future, the near or down the line. So this will be a medical decision like it is each and every week, and I have great confidence in Britt and Jim and obviously the feedback from Zeke.
And we've asked you a few times, your impressions of Zeke in your first year with him. What else does it tell you about him that he's basically saying, look, I'm playing, this is important to me?
He's been all football. He's been a pleasure to be around. He's been a pleasure to coach. He brings it every day. He's been very consistent. So I appreciate his professionalism. I mean, he goes about it. He's got his nose in his book. He's on the iPad. He does all the little things that you look for in the pros. So I've been very impressed with my time with Zeke.
Mike, you got Cheeto on the COVID list, and obviously Anthony Brown is still hurt. What do you stand at that position with your depth and everything?
Well, I mean, we have some young guys that are going to practice today, so it's we'll see how Anthony goes through the week, and obviously Cheeto's situation hasn't been totally confirmed, but yeah, that's it's kind of the state that we've been in, and it's this is an opportunity for some young guys to step up and take advantage of this chance that they'll have potentially Sunday.
Hartford, I think, got like 9 snaps in that Baltimore game. You played Eli and Gallum a lot. Is that more about what Baltimore was doing, or is that kind of where you're going to go going forward, just playing those two guys a little bit more?
I think like anything, snaps are game plan specific, and sometimes rotations are not as clean as you potentially like. So we'll have that'll be no different this week. So as far as the answer is it's more by game plan.
The Bengals play a lot of 11 personnel. What stands out in regards to how they favor and attack opponents from that grouping, and have you noticed any of that change since Burrow's injury?
I mean, it's obviously their where they feature. So with that, they have the ability to play the 1-back and 2-back schemes. So I mean, a lot of the things that they do, I think they do very well. But their normal down and distance flow is similar to I think some of the things that our defense is practiced against with our offense. So. But at the end of the day, I think they're tailoring to their quarterback, and they have a good run game, and obviously have the excellent weapons outside.
And to say the least, you're not used to a season like this from a win-loss standpoint. I don't think since San Francisco has there been a year in your career that would even compare to this. On a personal note, just how has it been for you working through the challenges of just a year like this?
I mean, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, we're all in this to win. Make no mistake about it. No one is happy or no one likes where we are today. But I think to a man, everybody sees the opportunity to continue to build. We still have a number of opportunities in front of us. But with that, my focus has always been about improvement, and we definitely need to improve. This has been a hard stretch, and it's just really the stretch has been difficult because of all the number of challenges that everybody in this league goes through. We're just not we're not doing as well as we'd like with the multiple challenges that we've had. So it's. I'm glad to be a Dallas Cowboy, and I love it here. And this is a phenomenal opportunity. But yeah, make no mistake about it. This is not where we intended to be, and this is not where we're going to stay.
Mike, we often ask you about evaluating players in these situations and how things go. How much are you evaluating the assistants, and how important is the final 4 weeks for the rest of your staff?
Really, from my view, you're always evaluating. You're evaluating assistants. You're evaluating players. You're evaluating your support staff. Frankly, you got to have you have to have a check and balance in place to, to evaluate myself as a head coach. I mean, it's, when you put together a practice plan in each week, and particularly in this climate that we're in with the changes that come unexpectedly, am I giving the team the best path of preparation leading into the performance? So to me, the way I've always done it is you're always evaluating, and I think with evaluation processes, you develop filters, filters that determine what direction you feel like you need to go, and my filter has always been for a large amount of my head coaching career is, do I need to change something? Do I need to adjust it, or do I need to just continue to emphasize? And so that's always been my approach. I mean, there's obviously an in-season evaluation process, and there's a postseason, and that's the way I'll continue to do it.
Has the way this season gone with the results shaken any confidence in what you believe or how you go about it?
Oh, no doubt. No, to answer your question, but there's no doubt that you have to continue to look everything and be honest about it. And it goes back to, the preparation of the football team. I think, how did you set your schematic schedule in the limited time that we had? Just the anticipation of the changes. Frankly, I don't think any of us anticipated, the amount of it. Are we handling it properly? Did we adjust in midstream as good as we can? So I think, like anything, times like this confirm, what I believe in. I do believe that we will be much better from this experience. I mean, all this adversity is happening for a reason, and from adversity and negative experiences, obviously you have a great opportunity to learn and increase your instincts and your awareness. And I feel that our program and our team will be better for this moving forward, and it can't happen quick enough.
Mike, I know we asked you about Andy earlier in the week, but have you seen any extra pep in his step? And also from a game planning perspective, what has he been able to add to the understanding of what the Bengals do on defense?
Well, he clearly understands, the Bengals and their personnel, and I mean, that's clear. I mean, he knows the players, and so that part of it's been good. I mean, we have been on a quick week. There has been, a lot more going on. This is a big day for us. This is like a Thursday where you get to practice all the different situations. So, but yeah, he's very. I think he's definitely always in tune on a weekly basis. But he definitely knows his old team much better.
And going back to what you were saying about adversity, it seems like y'all have struggled at points this year to respond to some of the adversity. When you were in Green Bay, what did you find most effective to responding to adversity? And is that just not, have there been times when that hasn't worked this year, or how would you assess what's different?
Well, I mean, it's to do comparables is not realistic. I think you draw from past experiences, but I think that's why the game of football is the ultimate team game. This is a 70-man roster that's significantly different than any other roster, and the challenges that we're having here are not the same or consistently the same as past experiences. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to keep going back to your core beliefs and your principles and stay after the fundamentals, because I mean, it's the things that we can control we need to keep hammering away and put the energy into. We can't get caught up in the nonsense of the things we can't control. So with that, the discipline and the distribution of energy is a very important focus for us as a football team, and I think our players are doing a good job of that right now.
Zach Martin is technically eligible to be activated from injured reserve later this season, although there wouldn't be much time for him to pull that off. Do you consider his season to be over?
I mean, he's obviously in a situation where he's rehabbing. I don't have any comments on where Zach is right now. I mean, when he originally got hurt, it was, discussed as, more than a multiple week. So he's getting better. He's here every day. He's in all the meetings. So we'll see what the future brings.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.